grew up in poverty, Section 8. My mom, right, single parent mom, low income, dad deported. That's only the one examples, but it started with being prepared for the moment emotionally, which helps you get over that. It's through the self-investigation.
Greetings, well builders. Welcome to Get Diversified, your go-to podcast for all things real estate investments.
I'm Jacqueline.
Melvin Landry. We're thrilled to embark on this wealth building journey with you.
Imagine this. What if your investments not only secure your future, but also unlock a life of financial freedom? That's what we're diving into on this show. Apartment buildings, storage facilities, mobile home parks, the whole shebang.
But here's the kicker. It's not just about investing. It's about crafting a legacy, building memories with your loved ones, and seizing every moment. Time is the currency of life. And let's be real, none of us wants to waste.
We've got the insights, experience, and dash of excitement to spice up your investing game. Plus, we'll throw in some real-life stories that'll make you see the potential in every brick and mortar.
Subscribe, buckle up, and get ready to turn your investments into the ticket to financial freedom. Together, we're not just building wealth, we're building the community of savvy investors. Let's get diversified.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Get Diversified. I'm your host today, Jacqueline Landry, and I am here with Isaiah Grant. And Isaiah, welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you for the invite. I'm excited.
Awesome. So I'm going to try to do Isaiah justice here. So let's see. He'll fill me in on anything that I don't get right. So Isaiah Grant is the founder and CEO of Kingdom Impact. He's an executive pastor, speaker, and business growth strategist. He helps entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants build authority, implement scalable systems, grow businesses that create both profit and purpose, the double P. After rebuilding from significant business setbacks, Isaiah now equips leaders to create sustainable growth while making a lasting impact in their businesses and community. So Isaiah, tell us what I'm missing from that intro.
Hey, you did very well, and I'm so grateful for the introduction. Long story short, yeah, I grew up in a single parent household. My dad was deported from Connecticut back to Trinidad. And, at an early age, I just felt this call to entrepreneurship. And it wasn't because I literally felt that I had to learn business. It was because we were poor. And I remember one day my mom coming to me in the kitchen, and I had this blue piggy bank with this pink tail on it. And I would put like dollars, tens, hundreds in it whenever, for birthdays or holidays. And I'm only a kid at this time. And she's like, hey, we have no more money left. And me being naive, I'm telling her, hey, just go to a bank and take money out, thinking that you could just take money out of a bank.
Right.
And I'm like 6, 7 years old. And it's crazy because at that moment, it put me in a fear-based mindset. But that fear-based mindset also propelled me in entrepreneurship. I learned how to sell pencils, erasers, candies, eventually sold CDs and DVDs to friends at school. And that's how I was paying for my lunch and my breakfast. And then eventually it got to a point where I learned how to build a sales team doing all of this. So my friends, they were like, hey, I want to learn how to do this. And so I would show them how to do it and take a percentage of it. And then one day, of course, you're not supposed to sell pencils, candies, erasers at school. You get your whole operation shut down. But it taught me a valuable lesson that God had used something so scary in my life where we thought we were going to lose the ability to eat, the ability to have a place to live, that I could learn how to produce something from nothing, turn lemons into lemonade, and really start to build a business. And fast forward, went to college, went to University of Connecticut, and there started learning leadership development. We built a nonprofit, which was great because of the fact that we helped over 400 students in Hartford, Connecticut learn more about Christ, but also, most importantly, prepare for like their next part of their life, which was getting ready for college, some going to professional world, and just helping them develop. Because without having a dad in my life, it really put me in this position where I sought mentorship. And that was a key element of my life, that if you want to go anywhere in life, you have to find someone who's been where you've been and has also achieved what you want to achieve. And that's how you can start moving forward. And this nonprofit, as I got a mentor, we grew it to 12 members, then grew it to a few hundred people at UConn, mentored 400 students. and then eventually built a water well in Kenya, Africa. And really the purpose behind that was I had a really good friend. There were six of us who started it or started that organization. And one of us, one of our six actually passed away from an asthma attack at UConn. And he was from Africa. And so to honor him and his family, God just led us to building that in Africa. And that got me started in my next journey of entrepreneurship, learning how to capital raise, learning how to build teams, lead, how to develop leaders and recruit and just pour into people. And then when I went to professional world, I was in aerospace engineering for about 8 years. And yeah, it was super fun. However, I knew that I wasn't called to be in corporate America for the rest of my life. I did aerospace engineering from the side of product management, building softwares. Yeah, software as a service. And I was a product owner, led development teams, and we built this incredible software for all the airlines where we managed the data of their aircraft to help prevent their aircraft from going down. And so learning that, it taught me how to apply that information. And I started my own company called Kingdom Impact, which you talked about. So we teach people how to write bestsellers and ultimately use that to generate predictable income in their service-based business, whether you're a coach, consultant, or author. So that's my main gig as now being a person who loves business. And I've been doing that for about 10 years. That's been incredible. And God called me into ministry while doing that. And so I was working in ministry, stabilized the business to where I only had to work 4 hours a week in it and did about 30 hours in ministry, serving in our church. Last church I was at for about 4 years, we were from 200 to 1200, multi-campus to Tampa, to Detroit to New York. And God called me to become a lead pastor here in Tampa, Florida. So after leaving that, been able to balance ministry and building that coaching company where we've helped over 600 business owners write books, become bestsellers, and impact the world. So it's been incredible. And I take my earned income, pour it in real estate. I've managed commercial buildings, had an Airbnb. So both of those have very similar to yourself. I have a portfolio in Ohio, which is really cool. I own about 5 properties there. And our hope is to help single parent mothers like my mother be able to get back on their feet. And so that's the affordable housing that we do in Ohio. So it's been really cool.
That's
My wife is
fantastic.
an incredible operator. Yeah.
Bro, so your wife operates, so you're kind of the strategic guy and your wife is more of the tactical arm in the
Yeah.
relationship in the business.
So depends on which one. So the real estate, she runs that thing like it is her baby.
Okay.
Everything she runs that inside and out. The coaching one, that's the one that we've systemized, automated. We have a really great world-class team for that. I work about 4 to 6 hours in it per week. And then here we have a solid team at our campus as a lead pastor. So we have a really big team, which is cool. About 42 volunteers and a core team about 4 people that lead. So yeah, so it's really cool what God
So
has
it
done.
seems to me like what I'm hearing is that you're a fantastic team builder and that you really pride yourself on that, finding the right people to do the things that either A, you're not good at, or B, that you don't want to do. Talk to me a little bit more about that thought process
Well,
in
this is great.
building a team. And then I have another really important question. You mentioned the word mentorship and coaching a lot, but we'll come back to that one. So let's just go talk about the team
Yes.
building aspect of it.
I love this question. It brings me so much fire. I'm so excited. So here's what I've learned in business is every great leader needs to know about 4 things. The first one is abiding in relationship with God because everything flows from it. Number 2 is strategy. If you understand strategy very well, that will put you in a position to understand how to execute on anything. And I didn't make this up. Here's how I know this. In the Bible, Genesis 1 is all about strategy of creation. And what we call this is an engine. I call it an engine for the sake of systemizing it into a term. But the Lord created on the first day what we call the Alpha, which was the heavens and the earth, and the Omega on day 7, which was resting. He didn't rest because he was tired, but he rested because he was modeling it. And in between those stages, Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, he created stages and milestones. So he created water and land. He created the sky. He created time. He created vegetation, animals. And by the sixth day, he created human beings. So what do we learn from this? We learned that he took his idea of creation, systemized it with a start and an end, with stages in between it. And he even made things measurable. So he can measure what was successful to the point where he said it was good and he blessed it, which was beautiful, like he did for human beings. And so as we think about this, imagine taking anything in any business, being able to strategize it, and then turn it into a world-class engine that you have a start and a beginning, you have critical stages, you have owners for each of those stages, you have critical metrics for every stage, and then you have world-class systems and automation that you can do that. And then last but not least, after you go through, or well, technically the third one is knowing your numbers. You have to be able to measure success, one critical metric per stage. And then the fourth is now establishing a world-class team. And so now to answer your question, after you go through those, how do you build a team? So for me, I follow the DISC assessment. It's, if you've never heard of it, it's a personality exam. It shows you if you're directive, inspirational, supportive, or consultative. And based on that, you can see what type of roles that people will thrive in. You can look at somebody's experience, right? 3 years experience, 5 years experience. That's great. But what matters most is what I call the two H's, their heart and their humility. And
Mm-hmm.
technically, if we throw out a third one, hunger, like, are they hungry for what they're working on? Are they humble to learn? And do they have a heart that is willing to support the team at a whole to serve a greater mission and purpose? So you take the DISC analysis, you take the three H's, and then most importantly, now you do a gift assessment of understanding what are people really good at. We call it in leadership here, not just in business, but in ministry, the spiritual gift assessment. You do those three assessments, you can figure out where is somebody a good fit so you can put the right person in the right driver's seat.
I love
And
that.
so that is why strategy, systems, numbers, and then last but not least is your team. Those four things combined allows a leader to operate very well in a place of execution.
So let's keep on this topic because I find it
Yeah, let's do it.
fascinating. How are you using AI for all of it?
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. So here's what we do. We use two different tools. We use Claude and we use ChatGPT. And so you can tell it, I'll give you an AI prompt. You can say, serve as a world-class operations director. And I want you to create an engine for whatever objective. It could be for your sales department, right? From getting somebody who's a prospect down to becoming a client, or it could be for your internal operations and client success of a new client to them referring other people to your business. And then what you say is build me an engine that has the strategy, the objective, the purpose, the key metrics, the owner, the primary and secondary owner, and then tell me what the steps are to implement on it. And if it's manual and automated. So 7 different things. And you're going to say no more than 7 stages. Then now you've turned it into a world-class leader that can build out that whole engine for you. And then the second part is now you can have AI start to build the SOPs for you for each of those critical stages. And
And
then the
how
third,
do you feed it information at that point?
yes. So you can create project folders where if you've created SOPs or even culture based documents, you can upload them to the folder as a form of memory bank. And then you can train it on that.
So it's
So
trained on the stuff that you actually have either talked about or written about.
exactly.
Awesome.
100%.
That's great. All right. So keep going with that.
Great question. So like, here's an example. Like I made a folder, a project folder for our sales team. So our sales team within it, I've created job descriptions for sales manager, for SDRs. I've created job descriptions for every role in sales. then even put what our products are as a document within it. Then I put our strategy, our engine of turning someone from a prospect to a client within that folder, trained it. And then every single week, our critical KPI, it can analyze it and tell us where bottlenecks are, helping the leader, the operator identify where there's key issues so they can improve their systems and do it better and better. So that's the power of AI is you can have it be almost like a business analyst, a chief operations officer, and you can train it on every system, even for our real estate. We've done about 8 different SOPs there. How do we procure a tenant? How do we make sure they get onboarded properly? How do we make sure that we're doing quarterly check-ins on maintenance to their property? Like we've created that entire engine to retain someone for 4 to 7 years.
Yeah.
And that's our hope.
I love that. Now, are you the brains behind the AI prompts? Because that's not easy. Let's face it, right? For somebody that's like hasn't used AI or just uses it to draft emails, they may go, "Oh my gosh, this guy is like a genius." Did you have somebody else do this for you? Did you go to Upwork? Did you have somebody design
No,
you
I
these?
do this myself.
Okay,
I do
okay,
this
so you are
myself.
the brains behind it.
Yes, I like to have fun. So here's the thing. Anyone can learn it. It's not as hard as it looks. And here's what I mean by that is like, here's an example. You can learn how to use AI by assigning it a role. So like serve as an operator. Then number 2, give it an objective. And you can say, hey, I need you to build X, Y, and Z. Build a scoreboard, weekly tracker for all of our critical KPIs. Then number 3, explain the why. Why is it important? So that's like the art is if you identify a role, a critical objective, explain the why. Now your role is to be the person who can give it feedback because typically AI will, it's just like a human, 4 rounds of feedback, the 10-80-10 rule. You delegate something, you have to cast vision, and you got to train somebody on it for 70% accuracy, and then you get feedback about 3 to 4 times
Yeah,
before they're
or it
ramped
gives
up.
you the results that you want, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. I love that. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to go from here. So, well, let's talk about this the second question that I have. So here you are, you know your dad had to leave, raised by a single mom. You talked about that being your motivating factor. But let's talk about how did you get in those rooms where
Mm,
people were thinking bigger than you? How did you know what kind of rooms you wanted to be in? Talk to me a little bit about that. And the reason I ask this question is
100%.
because a lot of people are afraid to get in those rooms that make them feel uncomfortable for whatever reason because it's uncomfortable, right? No one wants to feel uncomfortable. So, I find myself sometimes struggling with that. And then when I am in uncomfortable rooms, I go, "Oh man, do I really belong here? Should I be here? Should I?" And then I find myself playing my role and playing my success down,
Mm,
which is not a good mindset to be in. So shed some light on that
yes.
because you are extremely successful and came from,
Thank you.
you know, poverty and all of that good stuff. So yeah, let's hear about it.
100%. So I'm going to give you a process here. Think about it this way. When we feel that imposter syndrome, we feel like we're not good enough. We don't belong there. It's usually due to a feeling of insecurity, which we've all been there, including myself. And what that insecurity is actually doing, it's trying to protect us from being hurt. And so why do I bring this up? I'm huge on self-investigation. The more you self-investigate, the more you can walk through the process of healing. So now the next question is, if I know it's insecurity, the big question we want to ask, where was this first starting? Where did
Mm,
this come from?
mm.
Because if I can pinpoint the situation and the person that hurt me, that created that lie in my head, then I can do one thing, which is forgiveness. Because here's what unforgiveness does to us. It's almost like if you had glasses on right now, which you literally have glasses on, that imagine if mud right now, you just wipe mud all on it. That's your perspective. Like you would genuinely see it from that perspective. But the moment, let's say you took a Lysol wipe or alcohol, you washed it and you cleaned it off, now you have clearer vision. That is the power of forgiveness. So anytime you have an insecurity, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging it as an insecurity. But what is wrong is staying there. And so how do we get through that is by identifying the situation and the person, forgiving that person, forgiving God for what we believe he quote unquote allowed that to happen, repenting of our part in it and how we may have interacted with that person and replacing the lie that we finally have identified, replacing it with his truth. And why is this important? That self-investigation process will take you from seeing things as half empty to half full. The moment you start to see things half full, now the opportunities open up. And I'll tell you two examples, in no particular order. But for me, right, I live by this rule that I always have to have a rule one in my life. A rule one is a person who's been where I've been, but has achieved where I want to achieve. Like you wouldn't get advice from somebody who's, right, no disrespect, 400 pounds, right, to lose weight, right? Right. You're going to, yes, you may go with somebody who has some abs and maybe been a personal trainer, has worked out. Same thing, right? Marriage advice. You wouldn't get advice from somebody who's been divorced. You would get it from someone who's been married for 30, 20. It depends, right? 10 to 30 years, depending on where you're at in the journey, right? Because we model who we've been around, right? And that, again, there's no discredit to anybody. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've failed miserably in business and many other areas, but that's one rule I live by because that's what Jesus did in the Bible. So how did I get into these rooms? So first one, a lot of times you're going to have to pay to get there. Like prime example is Scalable, amazing. Ryan Dice is the greatest marketer of all time. And I paid a hefty chunk to get into his mastermind. I remember going to his conference. There were 3,000 people there. I got incredible results going through his program. I had already gone through multiple mentorship programs before. And then fast forward, learning his marketing strategies enhanced what I had already learned. And then it just blew everything up. And he heard about it while I was there. And he said, "Hey, man, like, I'm just curious. I want to know what worked for you." He asked me like 5 questions and he said, "I have this idea. 3,000 people here. Why don't you come up on stage, share your experience?" And he
And
said,
now you're shaking in your boots.
"Yeah, I'm sharing." And this is like, I got 10 minutes to prepare. But the thing is, I had prepared my whole life for that moment. It wasn't just right because of everything I had worked 10 years in entrepreneurship, learning. So I go up there and through the grace of God gives me the right words. And I'm telling you, after that, generated like 12 clients from it, high ticket clients from it. And then fast forward, he's like, "Hey, let's go out to dinner." And it was 7 of us in a room. And I'm in rooms with billionaires.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
and I grew up in poverty, Section 8. My mom, right, single parent mom, low income, dad deported. That's only the one examples, but it started with being prepared for the moment emotionally, which helps you get over that. It's through the self-investigation. Number 2, paying to get in the room. And then number 3 is giving proof that you've done the work because people only care about one thing, what's in it for me. So what was in it for Ryan was, hey, look at the results that I've helped him achieve.
Right.
That makes him look great.
Right.
Instead of asking your mentor for advice, show him proof or her proof. And then number 2 is make them look good,
Right.
right?
Right.
That's what you got to do. That's
Right.
when people feel good. So I encourage anybody uh, like you got to get around people who've done what you want, been where you've been, and pay to get in rooms. And when you're in those rooms, network. One thing I do, just networking advice, meet new people, ask them a pain driven question to understand if I can help them. It helps pre-qualify. And if I can, I take a picture with them on my phone and I text them the picture with my phone in. So now I can save it, the location of the conference or event, their full name, their phone number, and know exactly who I spoke to.
That's wow. That's amazing. I'm gonna rewatch this after we're done, and I'm gonna take notes. No, my AI is taking notes. Oh my God,
I love it.
that's too much. So I'm getting ready to go to Limitless
Yes.
in Phoenix on Wednesday. So great advice on what to do and being prepared for the moment. I mean, I feel like at our point in our journey. I want to say I'm almost there, but I should say I'm there, right?
Mm,
What's that financial freedom, or what does that freedom mean to you? Not even the financial
mm,
part, right? Because so many people focus on the
yeah,
financial part, and you really can become financially free at a very small amount, depending on what your standards of living are, right? But there's more to it than the financial part if you don't have your health. What's the extra money or the money that you have, to be able
zero.
to spend? It doesn't mean anything. What if you don't have anybody to share that with because you screw up every relationship that you have? So it goes beyond, the financial aspect of freedom and kind of looking at that all encompassing. Whoa.
That is
So
good. That's
Isaiah, what
good.
do we want to talk about to kind of to end this? I know we probably can go on for hours because there's
Yeah,
just
we can.
to like to know about. But what's kind of like the last message that you would like to leave with the viewers and the listeners of this to just kind of sum up your mission in life and what we talked about today?
Absolutely. So our mission in life, and I say our, my wife and I, is to help restore families. And doing that through business and ministry has been the greatest experience. And if I could leave you with one piece of advice, don't quit. Remember, everything you do in ministry and business is actually, I call it a mirror. It's almost like having a kid, getting married again, because at the end of the day, when you look in the mirror, it is one of the greatest ways to help you develop. Like every roadblock, if you don't know how to market in a business, it's teaching you how to grow relationships. If you don't know how to sell, it's teaching you how to communicate more effectively. There's a lesson behind everything in business and ministry, whatever you're called, your domain of stewardship is. So don't quit. Just look for the lesson and the takeaway behind it and grow from it.
Wow. I need to give you a hand. This has been so inspirational and maybe exactly what Jackie Landry needed at
Wow.
this point. Isaiah, where can people find you to talk more about any of these topics that we talked about?
100%. So you can go to LinkedIn, Isaiah Grant, Instagram, Facebook, Isaiah Grant as well. If you would like to get in contact with me, you can go to Isaiah at kingdomimpact.co. Our website is kingdomimpact.co as well. We have a free masterclass that is 60 minutes long, teaching people how to write bestsellers and use it to get predictable clients. If that is of your interest, all you have to do is send me a message on LinkedIn or go to our website, kingdomimpact.co, and we can send you information on how to do so.
Wow. Well, Isaiah, this has been truly inspirational in various ways, and I truly appreciate
Thank
you
you.
coming on to the show. And please let's stay connected and see how we can
Absolutely.
collaborate on future endeavors.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jacqueline.
Awesome.
You're
Thank you.
incredible.
Bye bye.
God bless you. Bye bye.
Jacqueline and Melvin, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to this episode of Get Diversified. Please make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on future episodes. Finally, stop by our website and follow us on social media. Ciao for now. Make it a great day, and we'll see you next time. And remember, get diversified.